It is that time again. Hour number 2 already. That first hour flew by. I don't know if it flew by for you, but it flew by for me. Sparky here, broadcasting live on the 1250 AM and 1057 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Charlie using other side of the glass. Jaden Daniels now questionable for his next game against the Raiders. Looks like he may have sprained his knee in that game against Green Bay. So now it is now 2 starters, Daniels and J.J. McCarthy, both in doubt. Coming up for week 3 games for both of their respective teams. All right, Vinny Rottino, FanDuel Sports Network, joins us coming up here in about 15, 20 minutes or so. Recorded an interview with him just before we came on at about 1:30. We'll play that back for you concerning the Brewers, the playoff rotation. Does the 1 seed really matter all that much? And so forth. Some other topics as well. Charlie, sounds of the day come up at 3:40, brought to you by Prize Picks. Top 3 clips from around the sports world. We'll play those back. Right now, I want to talk about Giannis getting his deal done, beating Finland, winning a bronze medal, which, again, is great. It's a great thing for Giannis, for Greece, for the whole deal.
I've had everything in my life through ups and downs, good and bad. When you're one of the best, players, and I don't talk too much. I like my actions to talk. I'm not. I don't fake. I like basketball. I don't like media. I don't like being famous. I just like basketball. And every day, sometimes when you don't play well, people talk about you. But this for me, it's almost like a relief, because I did it for the country. I did it for myself. I did it for my family, and finally, I did it. So I'm proud.
Couple of different things. Never been to Greece in my life. I never watched any broadcasts from that country. I've never heard any radio broadcasts from that country. But let me just say this. If in Greece they were running their mouth because Giannis hadn't brought home a medal for Greece in the Euro Basketball League, if they were running their mouth like, oh, yeah, big deal, won NBA championship, whatever, that league isn't all that tough. But why hasn't he won one here? If he's so great, why hasn't he won one here? If that stuff has been going on in Greece, man, come on. Shame on you, man. Shame on all of you. Because nobody in this country was talking crap about him not winning a medal in Eurobasket. NBA.com or NBA TV or ESPN, Stephen A., Skip, Colin Cowherd, none of those cats have been talking about Euro basketball and Giannis not winning a medal for them. Shaq and Barkley, Kenny Smith, those guys ain't talking about that. It ain't us. It's not this country. Nobody could care less if that dude wins a bronze medal, silver, or gold medal in Eurobasket.
But does that ever matter in the United States? Has it ever been anything but the NBA championship, really?
But at the end of that, when he's swearing and talking crap about me and everything else, if that's because they were talking crap about him in his own damn country about not bringing home a medal, dude, that's crazy. Like, that is crazy talk. This dude goes around this country and plays. And every damn, I'll say every arena he goes into, what happens? You got dudes holding up a Greek flag. There's that population that are buying group tickets and whatever else and sitting together at games. Like, he has done so much. And if he is feeling all that additional pressure from media there or people in general that see him out when he goes back in the offseason, that's some type of nonsense if that's what was happening. Because I know he's not talking about us. Nobody in this country has said a word about this, Charlie.
I don't really also think that's what he's saying through all of this. I think when he's talking about just kind of this pressure, it's more so that he wants to live up to this dream that he's had of representing Greece and being this hero of Greek basketball that he feels like he can be and should be at points. And I think that when he's out here swearing, it's more about because he has a lot of energy and a lot of adrenaline flowing through him for this moment that means a lot to him.
Wait. Okay, living up to being the hero of Greece basketball, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Dude, he has been the hero of Greek basketball
I think
for years.
I think if you asked,
this didn't start just now.
I think if you asked him, he would have that Milwaukee Brewers mentality of he's always still has to work and still has to grow to be that type of
By
person.
all
So yes,
means,
that's what
great.
he would say.
But if we're talking in real life stuff, take Giannis's viewpoint of this out of it. If we're,
that's the only viewpoint that matters in all
but
of
he's
this.
been, do you agree with me? He's been
Yeah.
a hero already, right?
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying. And again, like I said to start the segment, never been to Greece, never heard Greek radio in Greece, never seen TV in Greece. So I don't know if that's what this is all about. This could be him just making stuff up in his head to motivate him to be like, oh, anybody that doubted me and da-da-da-da-da. Maybe it's all in his head. You know, look, well, Jordan, Kobe, those guys, sometimes those guys made stuff up, just anything to kind of push them some more.
And I immediately thought that this was NBA media that he's talking about, not about the Greek media.
No chance.
What do you mean?
Like you just said, what
hasn't?
NBA player cares about what NBA writer?
What big time NBA media outlet hasn't talked about him potentially getting traded this offseason when he hasn't said anything about being traded? That's what this has to do with. If you're talking about what Giannis is, that is not what he's talking about, though. He's talking about the people that are talking about him.
Let's play this again. Maybe I heard it wrong. Here we go.
I've heard everything in my life.
Bucks fans
through ups and downs, good or bad. When you're one of the best, players, and I don't talk too much. I like my actions to talk. I'm not. I don't fake. I like basketball. I don't like media. I don't like being famous. I just like basketball. And every day, sometimes when you don't play well, people talk about you. But this for me, it's almost like relief, because I did it for the country. I did it for myself. I did it for my family, and finally, I did it. So I'm proud.
He did it for himself.
So
he did it for the country.
So there's two things here. There's two things here. One, you're right. That first swear that he had was about the NBA media getting on him if he has a bad game or whatever. So you were right on that. This whole relief thing, though, that's made up pressure that he's got in his own brain, because there was no pressure coming from NBA media having to win a damn medal in Eurobasket. This is him wanting to win it for his country that he loves so much and talks about so much. That part of it, not surprising at all that this was all this was about. Again, I said before, if he won a medal in the Olympics, it would be bigger than an NBA championship. I overshot. All it took was a Eurobasket medal to overcome that. This is more from Giannis.
Thank you so much for the support. Without them, this is not possible. They've supported this team through ups and downs. We did it. This is one of the biggest probably accomplishments that I've ever accomplished as an athlete. I know I've won an NBA championship, but there's no feeling like representing your national team and representing 12 million people that breathe and live this national team. So this is probably the greatest accomplishment I've accomplished so far in my life.
This speaks volumes as to how we view our national sports and how they view their national sports. We are, I will say, spoiled in this country to have really great athletes that win across the board in international events outside of men's soccer on a pretty regular basis. Men's soccer seems to be the only one that can't figure this out and are really screwed up currently. But the rest of them, women's soccer has dominated forever. Men's basketball, when they decided to put NBA players in it, have dominated outside of the George Karl coaching one, has dominated pretty much every way. Every time they've been given that opportunity. So when you get the Olympics on TV, there is no, oh man, I got to watch Team USA, because everybody just comes in with the assumption of, okay, they're going to win gold. Moving on. Again, there's nothing to it. There was that first dream team. I'm old enough to remember. That was a buildup. That was, oh man, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. These cats are all on the same damn team. I can't wait to see what this thing looks like. That was crazy. That was big time, right? Everybody wanted to see how far ahead. Over the course of the last, 10 to 15 years, that gap has closed significantly between international play and what we currently have right now. Now, games are closer. Are they going to beat them? Are they going to win? But it's still not like that. Then you got people like my boy Rami Makloff who could care less about the Olympics. Do not care, have no interest, just not interested at all in watching the Olympics whatsoever. Give me an NBA game. I'll watch that over watching U.S. Olympic basketball. And there are a lot of people, Charlie, that don't care about Olympics. I've always said, for the most part, like winter and summer Olympics. Okay, if you did it as a kid, synchronized swimming or whatever, did that, you're interested. If a family member did it or your mom or dad did it and you watch it and you know it, you're interested. If you never participated or did it or don't know anybody that did, you probably aren't watching it.
No, not usually. And I would say that's the case for me. I don't watch the Olympics all that often. I'll watch basketball because I like watching basketball a lot. Sometimes I'll watch soccer, some of these other sports when they have baseball in there. It's fun to watch baseball eventually here. I mean, these are the things that I look forward to, but those are the sports that I've played growing up. Like you said, those are the sports that I've watched for my entire life. It's a lot easier to pay attention to those, but there's also people that it goes beyond the Olympics. Sometimes even college sports, people don't like paying attention to. Rami Makloff, I'm pretty sure, has told me in the past that he's not the biggest fan of college sports either. So
definitely not high school.
And I think that a lot of people, unless you were in college athletics, would agree with him that they'd rather just watch the professional Big Four sports leagues and not want to watch college sports. But because I got to play college football, I was lucky enough to play college football. I love sitting down and having that Saturday to watch 8 different college football games and appreciate what I've gone through.
Yes, but see, and that is part of this. Like I said before, that's what this is kind of all about. I'm not mad at Giannis for saying he this is the biggest thing he's ever done on top of the NBA championship, because we all saw this coming, man. Like, that is it. If you're a Giannis fan and you care, supposedly, I'm still not convinced most people care about any athlete, but if you care about this dude like you say you do, then you're like, cool, man. No big deal. You got what you wanted out of it, right? To you, the most important thing was them winning a championship. They did. You got yours. Let him have his and be happy for him. That's all. Ram, North Side, you're next here on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy. Sparky with you. What's up, Ram?
Hey, thanks for taking my call, Sparky,
Sure.
Charlie. I heard the comment. I heard it when he said it. But, Sparky, I'm going to agree with you on one part of the thing you said. I think sports is personal, especially in the Hoopers world. I think we see it different, just like how you guys like NFL football.
Sure.
You know, the analysts, so for me, on a Saturday during the basketball season, I may be at a girls' middle school game. And then I may leave there and go to a college game and then come home and watch a Bucks game because I'm into the basketball world like that. Or when the Olympic team is playing and they're playing at 2 a.m, I'm watching that. I'm watching it. So, but I think the problem in the media is that you got too many people covering basketball that don't know the sport. So, like, when outside of, listening to your show, I watch NBA TV. I don't even watch ESPN.
Which is fine.
So the reason I watch NBA TV is because they have a blend of former players, players that just stopped playing, and they're giving an analysis, teaching people about the game.
Right.
So, and I think that's good. Just like, they got a baseball network, stuff like that. And I just think that on the other side too is that I think this is kind of a lot of slight hating on basketball because of how people see the All-Star game. I don't like that because some of these other sports that people like that are trash. I'm not going to bring them up on this segment right now. But as far as what Giannis is saying, I think it's people who hold a mic like yourself that say stuff about the sport and they're not qualified to say it. Especially if they just be pressing it on out. Because if you didn't play the sport, I'm not going to sit up and challenge Charlie about football. I didn't play. I watch it. I mean, and all the time that, Sparky, they put in sport that people don't see. And I think Giannis talks about that, the preparation that an athlete has when they reach a certain level.
Right.
So, and I agree with him on that part. Yeah, I think that's kind of what he's saying. Maybe not always, but I get with him on that.
Ram, thanks for the call, man. I appreciate it.
Take my call, man. Yep.
You bet you take care. There he is, Ram Nicolay Law Fan Talk and text line. You can hop aboard as well. 414-677-1250. 414-677-1250. You can also tweet us, Facebook us at The Fan Milwaukee. Hop into the Dugout YouTube chat. It is there for you to chat with us there as well. Search The Fan Milwaukee if you want to hop aboard and be a part of that discussion. You can do that as well. Coming up, Vinny Rottino of FanDuel Sports Network, Wisconsin Brewers analyst, comes up on the other side of this quick timeout. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM at 105.7 FM, The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Time for your fan weather forecast, brought to you by Utke Heating and Cooling. 79 degrees, sunny skies right now, clear skies for tonight, and a low of 58. Hey, T Sparky Fifer, welcome back. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Joining us now on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law, he is the one and only Vinny Rottino. Of course, you know him as the former Brewers catcher and on FanDuel Sports Network as an analyst there, pre- and post-game show host as well. Vinny, thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate it.
Sparky, of course. Anytime, man. How you doing?
Doing really good. I'm very intrigued by a lot of different things involving this baseball team right now, and I kind of want to pick your brain. First off, I want to go to, of all things, backup catcher with this Brewers team right now, with Jansen doing his deal and hits the long ball the other day. As far as just how difficult that is, the decision to move from Haas to Jansen, and whether or not, looking at it now, it was the right decision or not.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why they did that is because Danny Jansen gives you a little bit better and a little bit more of a consistency in terms of the at-bat quality. Eric Haas, he did strike out and swing and miss quite a bit. So that was the concern there. It's, he is an excellent, both are good catchers. Eric Haas may get the edge just a little bit defensively, but Danny Jansen's no slouch behind the plate. Pitchers love throwing to him. He's just like Haas, just an excellent teammate. And the other thing too, Sparky, is don't forget, it provided some depth in terms of the catching position. Now that Eric Haas, I think they had a pretty good idea that Eric Haas, because he was not making league minimum, it was a little bit above league minimum, that Eric Haas was probably going to clear waivers and get sent to AAA to then, if something were to happen to Contreras or to Danny Jansen, you do have depth there at the catching position. Because remember, at the time, I do believe Jefferson Caro was hurt. He's now back and playing, but Caro was hurt at the time when they made this decision, just to give him a little bit more insurance behind the plate. So that's why they did it. It's a little bit on the margins in terms of, the impact that it has provided. But, Jansen then hit a home run yesterday, and that was a big homer. So he's been playing well.
What about Anthony Siegler? He was here for a while, and now he is no longer here. What now does this mean for this infield when fully healthy, when we start talking about postseason lineups and how this all plays? Caleb Durbin has been kind of subbed in and out on a platoon basis. When Siegler was here, do you think Durbin gets a shot to play every day in the postseason, or how do you think that plays out?
I do. Yeah, I think Durbin has played an excellent defensive third base. I think they're going to have their best defensive alignment out there in the playoffs. So that also means potentially that Blake Perkins gets the start in center field, and Isaac Collins may be the odd man out, just in terms of, just because you want your best defensive alignment, and then Churio moves over to left field. Now, you asked me about Durbin. I do think Durbin gives you the best shot defensively as well in the infield. He's been playing an excellent defensive third base. He's also come up with some really big hits as of late. He's a guy that's kind of a little bit streaky, but what's encouraging about Durbin, he's the type, Sparky, and I know you know the type. You know your sports, you know baseball, that he's the guy that, because of his mindset and the way that he approaches the game and how confident he is, even as a rookie, he's the type that could come up with such big hits in the postseason when the lights are the brightest. You can kind of envision that, right? So I do see that Durbin is going to be the guy that's going to go ahead and get the everyday at-bats down the stretch here at third, and then also in the playoffs.
You don't have to convince me to play Caleb Durbin. I didn't want Anthony Siegler on this roster. I wanted Durbin playing every game versus watching Anthony Siegler, with all due respect. But clearly that
Sure.
wasn't working out. Vinny Rottino joins us here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's here on the Fancy. Sparky Fifer with you. I want to take you inside that clubhouse. Pat Murphy reading something. It was said, or people ran with it and said, well, it was a letter from Bob Uecker that Pat was told to read if they made the playoffs. Then I heard somebody else this morning on the radio say, well, no, that's what they think Bob would have said in that moment. So do we know which it is? Was it actually something that Bob left or not?
We don't know for sure. Is that still up in the air? I actually don't know either for sure. I would speculate that it was more just like what Bob probably would have said, and it was kind of trying to be a touching moment. But that's kind of where I think that was at. But we still don't know. I actually didn't follow up on that, so we don't know. We don't have confirmation on that yet. We know that Bob didn't write it from heaven. We know that for sure.
Well, no,
so
it was kind of
that one off.
It was kind of put along like he wrote it before he died. And said, if they make the playoffs, read this.
Right. Originally, that's what I thought, but then I also heard some rumblings, that might have been just what we think he would have said.
So Murphy might have wrote that then.
No confirmation on that. Yes, that might have wrote it. Right. But again, I don't have confirmation.
Well, it was good, regardless of what it was. It was still good. It went viral. It did what it was supposed to do. Made people cry, I'm sure, as they were listening to Murphy talk in that video. The Brewers win. They're in the playoffs. That's all good. Now the next celebration, because that one was very mild, is going to be with this NL Central title. But realistically, while that's pretty much in the bag, the one that's not in the bag still is this 1 seed in the NL. They're only a couple games ahead of Philadelphia for that 1 seed. How important is that 1 seed to you, Vinny Rottino?
To me, it is hugely important just because the Phillies are really difficult to beat at home. They have the best record in baseball, the best home record in baseball, and they have their Philly fans behind them. Tough environment to get into, right? BA in the booth, we were talking off the air a little bit about that, though, and he made a really good point because he does those playoff games. He does the national games during the playoffs, and he's done series in Philadelphia where he has personal experience of those fans turning on the Philadelphia Phillies. So maybe during the playoffs, home field advantage might not be an advantage for them if all of a sudden, let's say, an Orion Kirkring or some reliever that they're not real happy with or something starts to maybe gives up a blue pit and then walks the next guy. They will turn on that guy and boo him, and then all the momentum is on the Brewers side if they do in fact play each other in that NLCS. So maybe that home field advantage isn't all that important. I actually do think it is because we're playing and the Brewers are playing in front of the best fans in all of baseball. And I do think that is kind of the 27th man, if you want to bring in the football narrative. What do they say that in Seattle? The 12th man is the crowd.
Man,
I do think that's a factor in Milwaukee. I do think the team definitely rallies around the crowd and plays better, especially a rowdy crowd, especially a crowd with a ton of energy that the Brewers, we know when that place is sold out, it is rocking. So I think it's important in that regard. I do think, that first round bye is super important. Yes, I do think it is close to being in the bag, 5.5 game lead against the Cubs. But remember, the Cubs also have that tiebreaker. So, let's make sure we take care of business here. I think you can wrap it up here in the next 6 because the Angels are struggling. The Cardinals look like they're struggling. Man, that is tough when you don't get that sweep against the Cardinals. But that definitely both beatable and winnable series. You don't want to have it go down to the wire against the Padres in San Diego and against Cincinnati. Both have a lot to play for.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. What about when you figure out what is this rotation going to look like, your 3-man rotation for the playoffs, as far as who pitches where? Because you just said it, as far as home field advantage versus pitching on the road, I think the assumption is that obviously it's Peralta, Woodruff. I think a lot of people have Priester probably in as that third guy, but he also doesn't necessarily have playoff experience. So even though it sounds crazy, is Priester maybe a game 2 guy and then Peralta or Woodruff starting the first game on the road?
So I definitely have Freddie in game 1 because Freddie had a great season. What we don't want to see is the Freddie that we saw last time out where the pitch count gets super high, some guys get on base, and he kind of overthinks things and stuff. Like, we haven't seen that version of Freddie Peralta too often. I think game 1 of the playoffs where there is pressure, of course, but there's just not quite as much pressure on you. And plus, he pitches just fantastically at home this season. He's got a 1.72 ERA. I just looked it up at home. He's 8-1 at home. So he loves pitching at American Family Field, especially this year, in front of the best fans in baseball. So I actually would go Priester game 2 just because of the run that he is on. I mean, what an incredible run that he has been on. Unbeaten. The Brewers are unbeaten the last 17 times that Quinn Priester has taken the ball. That's just crazy. That is crazy. He works so quickly. He gets on the bump. He gets the guys back into the dugout. If he gets in trouble, he's got the stuff to get out of it. He's got the swing and miss stuff. He has been he has been, I mean, they're not going to call him the unsung hero, but he could, I mean, where would they be without him? He's been just unbelievable. I think Woodruff is I think he's a game 3 guy just because give him as much rest as possible, rest that shoulder, let him go out. And he's a guy that with the experience, with the adrenaline pumping through his veins, he's going to give you his best. You got to make sure that you protect his shoulder because, again, he hadn't thrown in a year and what is it? It's a year and a half he was off. So protect his shoulder, make sure he's good to go. He's going to have that adrenaline pumping. I have him going game 3. That's going to be hopefully a clinch, either clinch scenario or a really big swing game. And, Woodruff's the guy for that.
What to do with Jacob Mizorowski, Mr. Rottino?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
Bullpen for me. You have him pitch out of the bullpen. You have him go. He's not going to be like have him up and ready in every game. He's going to be, for me, a guy that could either piggyback off of Woodruff in that game 3. I think that's what I'd have him teed up for. He has experience throwing out of the bullpen in AAA Nashville last season, and he was ready to contribute in the playoffs last year. They just decided to not do it. I think they decided because he just wasn't ready, wasn't throwing enough quality strikes, but now he is. And you just let him, you send him out there, say one time through the order, let it rip, and you have him go game 3 and then have him, give him a few days off and have him just kind of available in that role. Remember, they're only going to need 3 starters. So you're going to have 13 pitchers. So you're going to have 10 relievers. You can afford to have a guy like that available to get 9 outs and then have him not available in the other games of the series. I think he can pitch twice in that 5-game series. I think you got to kind of map it out, protect his arm, of course, and just send him out there and say, okay, let it rip and punch everybody out. I think he's capable of doing that.
He is Vinny Rottino, FanDuel Sports Network, Wisconsin analyst, as well as pre- and post-game show host as well. Vinny, thanks so much for coming on, man. Appreciate it, and I'm sure you have had one heck of a fun time this year with this team.
This has been so much fun. This is the year, Sparky. I know we're all hoping that this is the year, and we all believe it. As good a chance as any team in baseball. This would be so much fun if they can finish it off.
Just before I die, Vinny, that's all I want. Just one before I die. That's all I would like.
Me too. We'll see what happens, though. This will be fun.
There he is, Vinny Rottino from earlier today. Had a chance to sit down and talk to him. He joined us on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Obviously, anytime you miss anything here on the Fan, go back, check it out on your Odyssey app, your iHeart app, wherever you download your favorite podcast at. We're available everywhere that you are. Plus, you can also stream us online at the Odyssey app, and you can also watch us and stream us as well on YouTube right now. And if you're on YouTube right now, you say extreme close-up of my big forehead. And I apologize. These cameras have a mind of their own.
It's always
Charlie.
kind of an extreme close-up.
Well, yeah, it is. But when you have a big head, it really fills up the screen a little bit quicker than if it was somebody with a smaller head than mine in the same spot. So my thanks to Vinny Rottino again for coming on. Charlie, sounds of the day coming up next. Hey, if you love Wendy's classic chocolate and vanilla frosty flavors, there's some big news. They're all new Frosty Swirls and now Frosty Fusions. Same creamy treat you always loved, now with a flavor refresh. So what are these new flavors? All right, well, we got the Frosty Swirls, strawberry, brownie, batter, and caramel. Now the Frosty Fusions, Oreo brownie, caramel crunch, and Pop-Tart strawberry. So clock in for sweet treat time with Wendy's all new Frosty flavors. A refresh on the classic. It's got to be Wendy's. As y'all know, we've been out and about with this show and the leadoff show in the month of September before weeknight home games. We've been doing it before every one. We are out on the road again tomorrow with this very show, thanks to our fine folks over there at Sun Cruiser. Vodka iced tea. They bring us out and about to eat different places. We're at the Broad House in Shorewood tomorrow. So those of you living in Shorewood, we will come out and be there with you. Got a relief pitcher fan t-shirts, fan bucket hats, got the stress balls, got the pop sockets for the phones, all that good stuff. So on the road tomorrow, come stop out, see us at the Broad House in Shorewood tomorrow. This show and then the leadoff show, the big old hunk of love, Tommy Wirtz, will be out there tomorrow as well from 5 until 6:30. So we will see you then. Coming up next, Charlie's Sounds of the Day. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, broadcasting live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. Welcome back. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Hey, speaking of the Potawatomi Sportsbook, take their shuttles to and from home Brewers games the rest of this season and into the postseason as well. How do I do it, Sparky? Well, let me tell you. All you got to do is go down there to Potawatomi, and you get on the shuttle. They start 1 hour before the game, go to 1 hour after the game, by simply making a same game day wager right there in the Potawatomi Sportsbook, right? So you can bet on that game, whatever, any bet that's going on that day. Or you can make a purchase at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. And again, the Potawatomi Sportsbook restaurant is amazing, right? You go down there, maybe you get yourself a beer, maybe a specialty cocktail, a soda or two, maybe you have one of their beautiful desserts or pastries that are delicious, homemade each and every day. They got all kinds of food, all day brunch, burgers, wraps, wings, salads. They got everything. So you have something there, and that gets it. You got the receipt and get yourself right onto the shuttle. For more details, go to Potawatomi.com/sportsbook. Potawatomi.com/sportsbook. And if you listen to the leadoff show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook with Tommy Wirtz, Austin Herdini has been talking about how quickly this has gained traction, and there are a lot of people now using this and taking advantage of this free service. You should take advantage of it as well. Again, Potawatomi.com/sportsbook. All right, before we get to Charlie's Sounds of the Day, let's check in with Greg in Atlanta. You're next on the Nicolay Law Fan Talker text line. What's up, Greg?
Hey, how are you, sir?
Doing good, man. What's up?
Well, so I just have an issue with Giannis Antetokounmpo saying that the bronze medal is the, I guess, pinnacle of his career.
Yeah, we talked about it at the beginning of the hour. Yep.
Yes. So not to be controversial, but so I hold the NBA in high regard. And so a championship is the pinnacle to me. But also, Giannis is, he may be a Greek citizen, but he's not Greek. And so I would understand his premise with that being the pinnacle of his career if he was actually from Greece.
Well, that is what he deems as his home country, whether you agree with it or not agree with it. If you watched any of his movies, documentaries, whatever else, he's got this Greek following that follows him all over the country. At every arena he goes to, there's a section of people waving the flag and so forth. He's attached himself to that country.
Understand that and respect that, but that's not where he's from.
Well, maybe not, but he's allowed to play on that team if he's not from there, one way or the other. Just like people from this country are allowed to play on other international teams too. To me, I understand why people are like, oh man, how is it bigger than the NBA? Well, how many people in this country view a gold medal for the U.S. to be bigger than an NBA championship? Not many. Probably not many at all. Why? Because there's not the same pride level that goes into that for USA. Why? Because we're good simply at everything we decide we want to be good at other than men's soccer. Everything else, if you want to win a gold medal or win a bronze or a silver, every other sport, winter, summer, Olympics, whatever you want, you're going to have the opportunity to watch the USA win that. In Greece, they're not exactly winning medals at a high level in anything. So when that happens, like Giannis said in the audio we played earlier in the show, you're affecting millions of people's lives and bringing them joy. Not the same necessarily when you win a championship in Milwaukee. Thanks for the call. Right? You're affecting hundreds of thousands, maybe a million or so, right? But it's not the same as winning it for a country that struggles to compete and win at a high level in other sports. Does that make sense to you, Charlie, or am I just nuts?
I think that makes sense to me. I think I'm with you on that, Sparky.
All right, so I'm not completely nuts then. That makes me feel better about myself.
Yeah.
Good. Let's get to Charlie's segment. Okay, let's get to Charlie Sounds of the Day, brought to you by Prize Picks. I'll tell you more about Prize Picks coming up in a little bit. JJ McCarthy out, by the way, 2 to 4 weeks. 2 to 4 weeks, could be a month. And it looks like Carson Wentz will get his opportunity to try and take over those controls with the Vikings coming up in their next game. Jaden Daniels Still not sure if he's going to play in his next game with a sprained knee. We'll keep you updated if we hear more on Jaden Daniels. All right, what do we got there, Mr. Houston?
We are very Brewers heavy on this edition of Charlie Sounds of the Day. We're going to start off by heading over to MLB Central on the MLB Network, where Mark DeRosa and the MLB Central crew made their picks for the NLCS.
Phillies, for me, are the most complete team with the Brewers, 1 and 2.
Yep.
Any way you slice it. I just think Duran completely changed it. Middle relief.
No Alvarado, however, for the postseason. That's significant.
I'll tell you what I see when I look at this.
Tell me.
I think that the Milwaukee Brewers are going to the NLCS.
Okay.
Yeah. You know,
And we're going to talk about them a little bit later in Diggs.
What about the other bracket?
The pitching.
And that could change because the Phillies are in LA for 3 starting today. But
the Mets are limping in so bad.
Dodgers, Phils, what do you got?
It's going to be it's a free-for-all.
I like the Dodgers.
A hell in the cell type of series.
Really? At the bank? That's going to be 3 games at the bank. Or no, it's going to start in the bank.
And you would lean, and Philly's got the lefties to combat Freddie and Ohtani. Starting pitching wise, yeah.
We saw nothing.
No, that's why I wanted to look at it. That's the beauty of it. It could change to.
Yeah. Dodgers.
It's all matchup based.
Like Lauren said, beginning is pretty interesting series tonight. Is that in LA or is that in Philly?
LA.
We were burying.
Starts at
Not
10-10.
we were burying, but the Yankees were playing terribly.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
True.
And now we think they can win the World Series. It's the peak valley of
can
this
you get
is
hot?
Too much.
Listen, the peaks and valleys is what makes baseball baseball. And that's why when the Brewers were red hot in August, having their winning streaks and doing all their whole thing, there were some people on the outside looking in that made Brewers fans mad, saying, dude, are they peaking too early? Like, are they getting hot too early? Are they going to be able to capture this same type of magic and run once they get to the end of the regular season and get themselves into the postseason? You end against the Padres and the Reds. That's how the season ends. Are you going to be able to run 5 out of 6 and feel that momentum going into the postseason and keep that momentum going forward? I don't know. And to the point of, the Yankees suck. Oh, the Yankees are great. Oh, the Yankees suck. Oh, the Yankees are great. Yeah, that's baseball, man. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I love DeRosa saying I'm rolling with the Brewers in the NLCS. Well, that's great. Okay, I'm with you. I hope that works out. But you really do not know. If you take that Euchre magic and you give that Euchre magic to the Brewers in the division round, they may win this whole damn thing. If you get on a run like that where you're getting breaks, guys are missing balls, guys are throwing balls past guys, you're having the ball bounce your way every single time. And then when it bounces your way and there's an error, you get that big hit to score that guy that got on because of that error. You get that clutch home run when you need it. The power comes out of nowhere for Bryce Terang. Those are the type of things you need when you get into the postseason to make that magical ride to a World Series at the end of the day. You play like they've been playing for the last week or two, 500 baseball. Hey, no guarantee they get out of a round if they continue to play like they've been playing. You need to get on that run and have that confidence just exuding out of you, almost like arrogance going into the postseason where you feel like you can't be beat. Everything you touch goes right. That's what you want Charlie using.
And you don't really get that with that underdog mentality.
No.
That's the only problem with that underdog mentality that Pat Murphy has and that what he's spreading to this team. I think when looking at this Milwaukee Brewers organization over the past couple of weeks, one of the biggest things I've noticed, and this is something that I think was a problem with them throughout the entirety of the season, is that, yes, they are really good at capitalizing on other teams' mistakes.
Right.
But when another team capitalizes on one of their mistakes, it's almost like the Brewers just freak out and feel like they need to overcompensate to kind of right the ship to some degree. And in the playoffs, you cannot do that. You have to make those mistakes and move on from those mistakes, not automatically think, oh, they're beating us at our own game, we have to start beating them that way, because that's when they get into a lot of these double play type of situations, when they overthink things and are bunting when they don't need to, or stealing when they don't need to, or running past the bases when they don't need to. That's what the Brewers have struggled with recently, and you can't have that when it comes to the playoffs.
All right, next clip.
Next up here, we're going to head over to fair territory where Ken Rosenthal needed to defend himself after accidentally running it over Brewers team photographer Scott Paulus Saturday night.
I don't know what Rosenthal is about to say. I haven't heard it, but that dude mean mug, that camera dude, he turned around like, how dare you be behind me like that? And then kind of said, I'm sorry, as he kind of walked away or whatever, and then did the rest of it. That was a horrible look by Ken Rosenthal. Let's hear what he says.
I want to talk about what happened Saturday night when I accidentally bowled over Scott Paulus, the Brewers team photographer, while I was getting out of the way of the Brewers dumping water on Andrew Monasterio. Now, the ever-observant A.J. Przinsky joked afterward that I looked like Muhammad Ali standing over Sonny Liston. Now, AJ, of course, is more experienced in these kinds of interactions than I am. And I must admit, though, when I looked at the video, when I saw this, I was surprised at how upset I appeared. I was more confused than anything. Now, I had to continue the interview. We were live, folks, on national television. Couldn't stop. And that said, I felt awful about what happened. And afterward, I went up to Scott, who I've worked with in pits before over the years, and I apologized. And I apologized profusely because, let's face it, I don't think that you ever expect knocking someone down is going to happen in any particular situation. So, yeah, sure, I apologized. And Fox is doing the American League playoffs this year. So I won't see the Brewers again unless it's the World Series. But if I do see the Brewers in the World Series, I look forward to working with Scott again in the photo pit. And I also look forward to sharing a good laugh with him over this.
Oh, that's good. I guess. I mean, I don't know. I've never been in that situation. I've never been on national TV a day in my life to know what it's like to be in that moment. But like he points out, he did have to finish doing the interview, right? So he couldn't like go down, pick him up, chat him up for a couple minutes, make sure he was good and go back, right? But he did take a step back and looked at him like, what the type deal? And then quickly kind of nonchalantly said, sorry about that. And then kind of walked up. It makes me feel better by him knowing the dude, saying they've worked together in the past and so forth. I personally have never had a bad experience with Ken Rosenthal. Back in the day when we were a Fox Sports radio affiliate, we have Rosenthal on. We had Jay Glazer on all the time. Both dudes were always super nice to me and to our staff. We never had issues with either one of them. So I've never heard anybody really speak badly of a Rosenthal encounter they've had at the park. So I'm not going to be too mad about him, but it didn't look good, Charlie.
No, it didn't. But at the same time, I think what Ken Rosenthal is putting out there is that it was a mistake that they talked about at some point here. It doesn't have to be on camera or anything like that. One thing I have to say is, though, Ken Rosenthal, you've been around this for a while. Just take the Gatorade shower, man. Just take it with Andrew Monasterio.
Well,
don't back up. Don't run away. Come on, he can pay for another suit.
Man, I'm just saying, how much does that suit cost?
You've talked about getting Tim Dillard that suit sponsorship. We can help Ken Rosenthal out, too, if he needs it.
I'm not helping Ken Rosenthal out. Like you said, he makes enough. He can take care of himself. Like Sophia Minnaert getting drenched.
She takes it every time,
and she
man.
does. She ain't making Rosenthal money.
That's true, yeah.
I don't know how much she makes, but it ain't Ken Rosenthal money. I know that.
Enough for a good dry cleaner, I guess.
Like, seriously, like, if you're Sophia Minnaert, aren't you getting like a Walmart dress to wear to these games? Like, if it gets trashed and it costs you like $10 or $15, it's not end of the world stuff. You're not going in there with any type of designer stuff by any stretch of the imagination.
No, I think you got to go with some of your cheaper stuff.
Yes!
Yeah, for sure.
If I get trashed and I have to throw it out, so be it if I can't get it washed. All right, next one.
And last up here, we're going to head over to the Milwaukee Brewers locker room where Pat Murphy shared a letter that was supposedly from Bob Uecker at the time of sharing it. We learned afterwards that it was supposed to be something that Bob Uecker would have said, but wasn't actually written by Bob Uecker. Here's Pat Murphy sharing the letter still.
I got a letter today from Uecker, and before we toast, I want to read it. Thanks, Mark. Thought it was fitting. The last time that we celebrated, Uecker was with us. Howdy, boys. Never a doubt you would get this invitation. You did it by believing. Really miss you guys, and I wish I was there. Things are good. The God Almighty picked me to be on his team up here. Albeit I'm the third catcher. It's a great league. No day games after night games. No shadows. But you got all the sticky you need to have up here. Told the big guy about you guys. You play hard every night. You're not afraid to play for each other. He's obviously very interested in the group with this uncommon goodness. The fact that you have the best record in baseball, the best road record in baseball, has caught his attention. You don't really need me. I know you guys really don't need me, but I've got to tell you, I'll be on the headset every night watching. And don't forget to take it all in, enjoy it, keep it light, and believe in each other. Bob Uecker.
Okay, so for those of you that were buying that this was a letter from Uecker, how in the world was Uecker going to know that they were the best record in the league and so forth? Right?
He's paying attention.
He's paying attention.
He's paying
right.
attention.
Yeah. So I don't know who wrote it. I don't know if Murphy wrote it or somebody else in the organization wrote it or whatever. But it was brilliant. Like, it was cool. It was a nice little lighthearted thing. Made you think of Bob, so forth. That Uecker magic, maybe it rolls on or it catches on here, kind of going forward. It went viral. Everybody and their mama was talking about it. MLB Network, everybody had something to do with it. I thought it was very, very well done by the Brewers and holding on to that.
Pat Murphy wrote the letter according to Kurt Hogue.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Again, I don't have a huge issue with it. Do you have an issue with doing it that way and projecting it that way? Obviously, everybody in the room realized it wasn't real.
Right.
So.
And Kurt also puts on here, not from the Brewers, but my understanding is the road record comments, etc., were included to make it evident that Pat Murphy wrote it in that situation.
That's great, but the casual fan is not going to put two and two together.
They have been and they were invoking Bob Uecker all season. This is just another example of that. And I don't think anybody should be mad that they're using his name to say these words that Pat Murphy wrote. Because you know what? Yeah, it's not 100% what he said or anything like that. But I could see him saying something like this, maybe not to the road record part, but talking about being the third catcher in heaven and having fun up there and doing all this. Like, that sounded like Bob Uecker. It wasn't disrespectful. It was a way, again, to invoke Uecker and invoke that Uecker magic.
You just think back, man, Evan Williams don't give up that damn ball. Who knows? Right. I mean, they all knew, I think, that he wasn't probably going to make it back for another year. Like, and that was the tearful crying of Yelich in the Uecker conversation and all of that. Like, they all, I think, kind of knew that this probably wasn't going to happen again. And that was their moment. So now he passes away prior to the season. Here's try number 2 to kind of run the Uecker magic through the postseason and potentially win a World Series. And again, on the same season in which the documentary Just a Bit Outside comes out, blows up, catches fire around the country. Everybody's talking about it. Now it's on regular over-the-air TV. They cut deals with over-the-air TV stations. So it's just, I don't know, it's something else. Hey, let me tell you, Packer fans, every game counts, so don't miss a moment of the action this season on Prize Picks. Make your picks on your favorite Green Bay Stars and ride with a pack all season long. Prize Picks is simple. It's daily fantasy. All you're doing is picking 2 to 6 player stat projections and going more or less. Download the app today and use code Sparky, SPARKY, to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code Sparky, SPARKY, to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details. Coming up tonight, we have more games tonight. It does not stop. We have games now all the way into February, which is a beautiful thing. Yeah, there'll be bye weeks. Your team may not play and so forth. But as far as Prize Picks go, and if you're talking about college or pro football or basketball season's going to be starting up here, do you realize basketball season starts next month? Mm-hmm. Right? Do we understand that?
It feels like the shortest offseason out of all of them, man.
Yes, basketball starts next month, man. Like, there's no stopping now. You got through the summer of baseball only, and now you start getting into, you've got football, basketball's coming, hockey's going to be coming around the corner as well. It really is a very cool thing. So again, download Prize Picks, get your lineups in today. Don't forget, they also have that beautiful thing they're called the Flex Play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can still double your money, even if one of your picks don't count. Download the app today and use code Sparky, SPARKY, to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Let me help you. That means you play a $5 lineup for $5. If every lineup after that you play is $5, you don't have to, but if it is, and you're getting 50, that means you can play 11 different lineups on Prize Picks for the first $5 that you play. Why wouldn't you do this? Use promo code Sparky, SPARKY, to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup today. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Coming up next, we'll hear the thoughts of one Packers head coach, Matt LaFleur, as they get ready to take on the Cleveland Browns coming up this weekend. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here.